Good afternoon. How's everybody today? It is the 18th day of February 2025. It's now 3 p.m. We're in the chambers of the Uintah County Commissioners at the large board meeting. And we will have the Pledge of Allegiance by Tonya Craven right after Lesha Coltharp gives us the prayer.
Thanks for reminding me. Dear Heavenly Father, we are so grateful that we can gather together today as elected officials and as community members. We ask you to please be with those that are making decisions today that they can do the best for the county with the information that they have. We ask you to bless those that serve our country and our community, that they will be protected and that they will know how grateful we are for them. We're grateful to be able to live in the country that we live in, to be able to have the freedoms that we have. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right. We'll start off with the approval of the minutes from January 28th and January 29th, the work session.
I would make a motion that we approve those minutes as stated.
Second that.
Call for a vote.
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
aye. Guess I didn't have to second it. That's
right. You don't. Mr. Wilkins, call for warrant.
Commissioners, I have warrants from February 12th of 2025 in the amount of $270,041.52. Nothing much on that one at all. I do have one claim, which if John would have just proved all the warrants, we wouldn't have these, but this is his fault here anyway.
I'll take it.
This is a check number 396860 or 860 to Stearns Construction. This is part of the trails that was put in behind Discovery Elementary. This was our share of the trail crossing the road and hooking that up. $20,502.
And when did you say the warrants, the date of the warrants?
February 12th.
Well, thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we present these warrants as presented by Mike Wilkins, Clerk-Auditor.
How about a certified list of claims is what we do.
Oh,
If you do that one, I don't do the other one.
okay. Certified list of claims as presented by Mike Wilkins.
Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any text matters today? Okay. We have in our presence three lovely looking ladies that are going to tell us everything there is to know about FFA. Please come forth and educate us. Please state your names.
Well, don't tell us everything, because I know you know a lot, and we'll be here a long, long time.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, I am Terry Lynn Williams. I'm the Utah FFA Area 6 Sentinel. I represent more than just the Uintah FFA. I represent chapters from Manila to Tabiona. So yeah.
I am Daisy Lepar. I am our Uintah FFA chapter reporter, so all the social media stuff and pictures that you see, I do a lot of that, and I just help basically run the chapter.
I'm Abby Olson, and this is my first year of FFA, so I'm just along for the trip.
We're here to ask if you will sign the proclamation to make National FFA Week a part of our community.
Okay. When you want to read it, or you want me to read it?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. The National FFA Week from February 15th to the 22nd, a proclamation. Whereas FFA and agricultural education provide a strong foundation for the youth of America and the future of food, fiber, and natural resources and systems. And whereas the FFA promotes premier leadership, personal growth, and career success among its members. And whereas agricultural and education and FAA ensure a steady supply of young professionals to meet the growing needs in the science, business, and technology of agriculture. And whereas the FFA motto, learning to do, doing to learn, earning to live, living to serve, gives direction and purpose to these students who take an active role in succeeding in agriculture education. And whereas FFA promotes citizenship, volunteerism, patriotism, and cooperation, therefore, I do hereby designate the week of February 15th through the 22nd, 2025 as National FFA Week. And I will gladly sign this.
Thank you.
Can I add something? Love the FFA program. Been involved in it since I was their age, my kids, my family. What a good thing it has been for my kids and for myself. I wasn't very good at it. I showed up, but mostly found trouble. But my kids, it's changed their life in leadership. I'm happy to see involved in the state chapter and some new faces. Congratulations on your good work, and please keep it up.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And I would ask you when the FFA was first formed, but I have the original member right here beside me, so I'm not going to ask you. Hand that over to, please. Anything else you ladies like to add? Like, it's a great program. You're all going to go into ranching, farming, or agricultural production so we don't starve to death, right? Okay. You're going to have 30,000 kids each, so you have help on the farm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think they were stalling. All right, Lesha. Freedom Fest,
No,
headliner, entertaining, contractor.
skipped one. You skipped a lot.
What did I skip?
Which one? What about number 6? Okay, I've got an old one then.
Teach you not to get.
Yes, you do.
I
Both
grabbed-
of you do.
I grabbed the old one instead of the new one. I apologize.
You guys need to get up to date.
Sure.
All right, so today I am just here to present the contract with Brandon Davis to be our headliner for Freedom Fest on July 24th. The agreement is for $6,000 and just needs to be signed by the commission chair. And then we pay out, pay a deposit of $1,500, and then Freedom Fest pays the remainder, so.
Can you tell us a little bit about what Brandon does?
Yeah, I didn't bring my music today, but all of you in the room should find him on Instagram or social media. Brandon Davis, he's just a really cool guy, and I played these guys a song about the flag that he sings that's really awesome, and we're pretty excited to have him come and play in our community. So check him out, Brandon Davis. Once this is signed, we'll start putting it out on our Freedom Fest social media channels, and then you can hear some more of his music, but you can find him on YouTube. He has his own channel and stuff, so yeah. He's cool. It's going to be fun.
Cool, thank you.
Yes.
So, Lesha, is this part of our year-long celebration?
Yeah,
Put a
it'll be
plug
part of
in
our
for that a little bit.
Wait, what is it the centennial? What is it? I don't have it with me. The
Yeah.
150 years of America. So
Okay,
it'll
250 or something.
America
isn't it?
250 is
Yep,
not
there you go.
250 years. America 250.
I
So it'll
remember
be
the
our
first
kickoff
150.
event. So that happens in 2026, but in 2025 we kick off the year-long celebration of America 250. So
That'll
Great
be
program.
That's in cooperation with the whole state.
in cooperation with the whole state and anyone that wants to serve on the America 250 committee, we would love to have you. So I keep announcing that because
And don't kid yourself, there is strong competition among the other 49 states, even though Utah's going to win this.
that's right. That's
I
right.
don't know what we win, but we're going to win.
I have no idea, but the governor is very much behind this, so it should be a big celebration for Utah.
And you said, sorry, that was at 6,000?
Yeah, it's 6,000, but Uintah County will just be paying the deposit of 1,500.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
I would make a motion then that we approve the Freedom Fest headliner entertainer contract with Brandon Davis. It's in the amount of 6,000 with Uintah County paying the $1,500 deposit.
Perfect.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Call for a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am. Look forward to you chairing that this year. For this whole state, Lesha. All right, amendments to policy 340, volunteers. Ms. Craven, HR.
Hello, Tonya Craven, Human Resources. This is policy 340, which we went into great detail at the work session. A lot of changes. There hasn't been any updates to this or amendments to this policy since 2009. Worked with the legal department to get these updates taken care of. We're just wanting to get the approval to make these amendments according to the workshop discussion that we had.
Okay. Call for a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the amendments to policy 340 concerning our volunteer program as presented by Tonya Craven.
Any questions? Comments? Concerns?
No, I think that it's, anytime we can do something to get citizens involved and build a sense of community and support for one another, I think that goes a long ways, not only for the event, but down the road when we have interactions as people and neighbors and community. So, yeah, anything we can do,
Absolutely.
I'm good that way.
Thank you.
Did you put your telephone numbers down when you signed in? We're getting volunteers the easy way
We'll be
this
reaching
year.
out for engagement.
Okay. Thank you, man. Oh, call
Oh,
for a
we have to
vote?
vote. Yep.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All righty. Interlocal agreement with Vernal City establishes parameters to install fencing cameras around water utility infrastructure operated by Vernal City on county-owned Ashley Gorge Property. Mr. Matt.
Okay, and we've been going back and forth with Vernal City with this, and the last thing we have, let me see here, let me turn on this TV real quick.
Yeah, they're not coming on. Can you turn them on from there?
Work your
Probably.
magic, John.
I can turn the room off. Yeah, I can make it sleepy time.
Okay, so we've been working with Vernal City on this. We'd originally sent it to them as an interlocal agreement. They sent us back something, and it's a memorandum of understanding, so just different terms for what the document is. So anyway, this memorandum of understanding with Vernal City is for the placement of fencing and cameras around the water infrastructure up in Ashley Gorge. And it basically is just giving them the ability to have the materials delivered there and install the fencing. The county will have to sign off on the location of the fencing. We have a general idea here of the fencing, and this is something that's been talked about for quite a while now. But this would be the general location of the fencing and the cameras and stuff. So they'd fence around the spring house here with some cameras, fence off the bridge that's there, that's owned by Ashley Valley and Vernal City, and then fence around the desander, along with placing cameras in that area as well. So that's kind of the general area where the fencing would be. And then what'll happen is we'll have Vernal City mark on the ground kind of where it's located, where they want the fence, and then we can go out and just make sure that there's still, enough room to get around things outside the fenced area. And then for the desander, we want to make sure that the road that's there isn't completely blocked off or restricted too much as well. So, which I know Vernal City doesn't want that either, because most of the parking and stuff takes place up in this area, or this is kind of the bigger turnaround area as well. So, with that, it's pretty basic. A basic thing. It's about 950 feet of fencing. And then the cameras, that includes running some power and some fiber optic lines as well for the cameras. And Vernal City's wanting to get going on this project. They did put it out for bid already. They didn't have anybody bid on it. So they're looking just to go and find somebody to do the work and get it done, from what I understand in talking with them. So the signature on this is the commission chair, and then it will go to the Vernal City Council as well for their approval.
Have you looked this over, Lauren?
I have.
Okay.
I do not have any problem with it legally.
So, can I say something?
Most certainly.
Thank you. So, I thought, is the infrastructure already in the power and the fiber, or is to the area but not to the spring house?
Yeah, so currently the fiber and power, it's been brought to this general location just south of the bridge. And so the city is going to take it from there, from where the public utilities stopped, and they're going to take it across the bridge and over to the spring house. And then they'll have to run some lines as well off of the public utility for the area around the desander as well. But yeah, so there's a public utility easement already in place. And the public utility for fiber is Strata Networks, and the public utility for power is, I think it's Rocky Mountain Power up there. And so they've already run their lines, and so the city would be running their lines outside of
that easement.
Well, and the city can't really run the lines inside that easement because they're not the public utility for those particular utilities. So.
And we're staying far enough away from, I think there's some distances on that we have to stay away from that water line from down to the descender. We're good there.
I don't know of any distances with those things for these types of utilities and things.
Okay.
Yeah, this type of infrastructure, I'm not aware of any setbacks, so they have to be away from the spring house or desander.
Okay. And you've looked at work in the area. You're sure you're not gonna cause issues with our water system and our.
I mean, it's the water utilities that are wanting to do this, so I imagine that they're the water professionals. They know what they need as far as to protect their infrastructure and the drinking water. And so I have full confidence in their abilities to do that.
There's just lots of talk around drilling and posts and fences and all kinds of stuff. So I want to make sure all those angles are addressed and that the appropriate people have noticed it, looked at it, signed off on it to give us their best insurance that there won't be problems.
Yeah, and I think that would be something that Vernal City could maybe answer to if you wanted. But I mean, they're the ones that do this, and
We talked about it a lot. In fact, I think at one point, Uintah County, if my memory serves me right, I wasn't in here, was willing to help with it, but it sounds like Vernal City's taking it on by themselves.
Yeah, at this point, that's what it is. That we did have we were negotiating with Ashley Valley, and we talked about providing some funds there, but at this point, there's been no agreements made as far as that goes. If there needs to be agreements made in the future, I guess we can have those discussions as well, though. So.
You have to come up to the microphone, state your name, because we don't know who you are.
Ivan Merrill, Vernal City Utilities. Part of the reason that we're fast tracking this is we don't have a whole lot of time. We've got beginning of April runoff starts, and don't have a whole lot of time to be able to get equipment and fencing materials across the creek until we're up against high water. So that's why we're trying to fast track it. Once this just allows us to start the work, and then once we get the easement squared away, the easement will supersede all of this. So we're just wanting your permission to be able to get in there and get it done. As to we're pretty comfortable. We've got far enough setbacks from the springs that we're not getting, it's gonna be minimally invasive. Just putting some fencing in and just so we can do to protect our water source. So that's the goal here. That's what we're working towards.
Okay, so it just sounds like a progression over time as things change and grow.
And this is something that
you've done work previously, and it's just kind of a next step of progression.
Yeah. 2018, the plan was drafted to run the fiber and the power up there, and put in fencing, cameras, stream monitoring, flows, as well as water quality. These are all things that have been planned. With other developments, we're upping the schedule a little bit. We'll put it like that.
So it's not a knee-jerk thing. It's
These are
a
things
planned
that are
out over time.
already in the plans on the books. We're just moving it up a little bit.
Okay.
Thank you, Ivan. Anything further, Matt?
I don't have anything else.
Call for a motion.
I would make a motion that we approve the interlocal agreement with Vernal City as has been stated.
So if we could change it to memorandum of understanding.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, that's what the
MOU.
Yes, the
What they
memorandum,
requested.
I'll correct that to the memorandum of understanding with Vernal City.
Okay, any further discussion?
I've had my turn. Calling for a vote?
Wait for any further discussion.
Oh, I'm
Okay,
good.
call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye.
All righty. Get building. Ordinance number 0218. Oh, that's bright. 2025-01, adding 300 south, just south Terra Academy as a Class B paved road to the transportation plan. Matt, is yours.
Okay, so Commissioners, this was discussed at the work session last Wednesday. In dealing with, in talking with the attorney's office and stuff, I guess it's these things are generally a resolution because we're not taking something off the map. So, so it'd be a resolution, but also I think in talking with the attorney's office and in working with, we're trying to work with Vernal City to have an agreement with Vernal City that they would maintain this road. And so in speaking with the attorney's office, we can have this all ready to go and bring it back when that agreement's ready to be presented as well, and they can be approved at the same time so that there's not a lapse in time of who's maintaining it and taking care of it. So I think that's kind of what the direction that I would recommend that we go is to, we'll table this item, we'll bring it back as a resolution. I guess that's what we generally do with these types of changes. And we'll bring it back at the same time that they're ready to go to look at the agreement with Vernal City to maintain the road. do you want me to give more background, or did we have enough background from the work session?
I have enough background from the work session and everything, as long as the public's good with it and don't have questions, but I think we've discussed it very thoroughly and everything appears to be in place.
Okay. And we do have the resolution ready to go. So we can have it back at the next available meeting when, or, you know, as fast as they can move with the agreement.
Okay.
The developer, so.
All right, we'll table this till the resolution's ready. Okay.
Lights, camera, action.
I'm waiting to see what else he does here. Okay, ordinance 1204, 2023-01, vacating a portion of a Class B road, 1250 north, on private land owned by Christy Jenkins in Township 4 South, Range 21 East, Section 17, Salt Lake Meridian, and revisitation to the transportation map. Matt?
Okay. How much background? I mean, this has been on the agenda, I don't know, maybe a year or a little longer than that even. That's been being talked about. I'm happy to give whatever information you guys want me to on this one. I know we do have a new commissioner that's been on there, but I'm fairly certain that he was at most of the meetings as well, just as
I've
member of the
been to
public,
them
that
and
he's familiar with it.
Yep.
Okay. We did, Deanna did receive an email yesterday, I believe, from another property owner that noticed this was on our agenda. I can bring that up. That's new information, I guess. So it's from this property owner here to the south. Whoops. Sorry. So it's this piece here that's south of 1250. His email, and I think he sent it to the Uintah County Commission email as well. But basically he stated that this property has an easement across this piece up to 1250, but does not have an easement out to 3000. So that's what the property owner is stating there. And you guys, I guess you guys saw the email then as well. But that's I guess any additional information that we've got. I guess also since the last time we met, Christy Jenkins has purchased this piece of property here. Oops, I don't know why I keep doing that, but she's purchased that from the person that purchased it from the Oviates, from what I understand. So that's changed as well from our last meeting.
Okay. This one we're going to do discussion first before we call for a motion, if there is any. Discussion?
This has been painful to sit through for me, from the audience. I know both of the entities very well, and Oviates have been a big part. TJ's been part of my life. It's messy. It's dirty. I mean, you know, from what I see, to make it a B road, it doesn't necessarily fit the criteria. I did see where it was an easement was given to Christie of 33 feet in 2003 for that. I've got concerns about how and when it landed on the map as a B road. It seems like we may have some history there of problems with roads being drawn in the past without. And I also, you know, just not this property, have seen some that's been abated and added that is pretty questionable. I guess if you was to make it a B road, are we ready to go in and make it a B road tomorrow and make it fit? If we move houses or whatever we have to do, are we willing to do that to make it right? We need to do the right thing now, just not what's the legal thing. So I'm torn both ways.
You got it? Okay. Biggest concern that I have is landlocking somebody. And it appears that that's what would happen. So I call for a motion.
I would like to, Commissioner, and I apologize for interrupting. Are we positive that we have I think the Ashbys do, our understanding all along has been that the Ashbys do have an easement across the lane down there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's just what his email said.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that information's not being thrown out there and that it's accurate, if that makes sense, so. It's a utility easement.
We can't have him speaking from the audience.
Jed, come on up here to the microphone, please.
And I apologize, I know that everyone has heard this issue ad nauseum, but my understanding, and I could be wrong on this, I haven't gone and walked through it, but when we get new information 24 hours before a decision is to be made, that's a little concerning when this has gone on for 2 years. My understanding is that there's a 20-foot right-of-way for ingress and egress over the above-mentioned property. So I don't know if that includes Christie's or not, but her understanding is that there's been an easement across hers as the entire time that it goes up, and then it goes across the other piece that she just purchased as well. So and Commissioners, I would ask if there's any questions for me, because I want to echo what, and I really appreciate what Commissioner Lefevre just mentioned. I want the right thing to happen here, and I am very confident that if and when a court of law hears this, that they will rule that this was never a road. I am very confident in that, very. I will remind everybody that no evidence was raised that this was a road, or it's been used as a road. And if, I'm positive that the courts will do that because they have to follow the law. And I think that's what we should do here, is follow the law. We don't take property from individuals. And there are so many other smaller concerns, like the width. I mean, we have it's under 30. It's barely 33 feet. The driving width is 12 feet. We have an individual that is a widow that has taken care of this for the last 24 years. The county wasn't up there this last snowstorm pushing snow. 3 years ago, when we had the terrible snow, she spent a humongous amount of money making that to where she could travel it back and forth. Since this happened, and the only reason she knew this was an issue is because there was so much traffic from real estate agents and people coming in. The road is not designed to take that kind of traffic. I know that there was a discussion of possibly splitting the baby here and maybe just vacating down to the double wide. I don't think there'll still be a lawsuit. A taking is a taking is a taking. There are some issues with that as well, because people have continued to park on that lane. I've been there when law enforcement was there. I got the phone calls as well, and people are arguing and all those kinds of things. Christie has built a home up in there and maintained that and had that for almost 25 years now. That road is so narrow that if someone parks on that lane, or if someone is in there for utility purposes or anything else, if digging happens and she has appendicitis, she can't get in her vehicle and drive to town. She'll be blocked. There are some major, major issues going on here. I would implore that we follow the law and that we vacate this and have it the way it should have been in the first place. That will allow for then the process to take place. I will again remind everybody, the trust filed the paperwork to have this for a minor subdivision in March of 2023. Christie found out because their real estate signs came up and people started driving that road for the first time ever. And then she started asking questions in June and July. Hired me at the end of July. We filed to have that vacated on August 2nd. On that same afternoon, just a few hours after I walked down here and filed something, Marietta Oviatt walked in, it's Shearer now, walked in and filed a addendum to it to have it set up in a different way. And that was troubling to me. That's troubling. We had a meeting right here on November 28th, and the trust was here. They listened to everything. They were on notice. They were on actual notice, and they were on constructive notice at that time that there was a problem with the road that had been used to create that minor subdivision. Despite that, they pushed ahead with sale and sold the home to the Whites on the 20th of December, 2023, just a month, less than a month later. They had the opportunity to not landlock themselves. They sold the frontage. They sold the piece that allowed them to get back into whatever they could. Christy Jenkins has done everything humanly possible to solve this without conflict. She has spent money. She spent almost $100,000 buying property to try to solve somebody else's problem. This is not a road. It's never been a road. Everyone knows that. And so if we say that this is a road today, we've got a problem. And I think that's disingenuous. And so I would beg the commission to do the right thing here, vacate it. At that point, we have options. If the trust feels they need to file a lawsuit, they can do that, but we have some time. The trust just a few months ago filed to try to dig and go down that lane and put utilities in. Well, it's the same thing I discussed at the meeting when we met down in the conference room. I said, they're shoving this down everybody's throat and they're trying to pour as much concrete as they can in the hopes that it'll set up and everybody will say, well, we can't tear that concrete out now. And so if Christie is not going to do anything, if it's vacated, it'll still be sitting there, it'll be fine. But my fear is if there is a portion that's vacated, utilities will run down that portion and then we're stuck. The problem increases at that point. We have tried everything we can to sell, to purchase, to do all kinds of stuff, and I was told by the trust about a month ago that they wouldn't be able to do that because of some other litigation that's ongoing within the trust, and they thought that would put them at a disadvantage. And so we've done everything we can, and I hate to see a person that was just going along, paying her taxes, living her life, take one right here. It's not fair. My mentor taught me a very important principle. If you're in a hole, stop digging. If you're in a hole, stop digging. We're in a hole right here, so let's stop digging. The way to stop digging is do what should have been done in the first place, and if it wasn't done in the first place, then what should have been done in November of 2023 when they had the first meeting and say, hey, everybody, we better calm down. Let's stop selling things. Let's stop dividing things. Let's stop until we figure this out. That will give everybody an opportunity. Christie will still move forth. She will give her word that she'll still move forth in good faith in order to sell an easement or procure one for that double wide in order for there to be things. And then that would in turn avoid litigation altogether. And so we've tried to do that, and we're going to continue to. I really appreciate your patience in listening to me and listening to all the issues here. And I know it's a hard job, and this is ugly. But there's only one way to stop digging, and that's you got to climb out of the hole. And the only way we can climb out of the hole is do what should have been done in the first place here. And this has never been a road. Everyone knows that. And if it's decided today that even a portion of that road is a road, there'll be litigation. She has no choice. But we have choices. If it's vacated, there still can be a taking by the county. There's still options that can still be settled by the parties themselves. We've been working with the Whites in order to procure some property right in front of their house in order for them, so that Double White could just own a lane going in, so they have a way to drive in, they have a way to run their utilities, they have a way to do all those things. And we'll continue to do that. So, are there any questions for me that I can answer? Or at least attempt to?
No, the one thing that we are having trouble finding is the law in 1983 pertaining to building a road. If that in fact would meet the standards in 83 of a Class B road. Just so you know, we've dug everywhere and we can't find those rascals. So if it was, somewhere along the line, the county dropped hard. So.
Well, and that happens, and I discussed that in the last,
Yes, you
in that
did.
meeting in the conference room, Commissioner. I would liken it to, the law doesn't work that way and I think that you're headed that way, Commissioner, but if someone is, a murder takes place and they say, he almost threatened me, so it was self-defense. Well, it either happened or it didn't. And it has to happen in order for it to be brought up now. And so it didn't happen. And that's why I've said there's only two ways for a road to exist in the public spectrum. And that's that it has to be deeded, or it has to be dedicated over by an instrument, by deed, or it has to have the proper usage. And none of that's happened here. And so all those things they teach in law school, to not chase red herrings. They teach you to get on what you're supposed to be on and get on it, and that's what I've done. And I believe, and I may be wrong here, it wouldn't be the first time, it wouldn't be the last, but I believe that if it's vacated, that opens options. If even a portion of it is not vacated, I think that causes more problems. It continues the hole continues to dig, if that makes sense. We just continue to get deeper. Because if we do go and dig and try to put utilities in and things like that, there's a chance for conflict, there's a chance for all kinds of things. And then I don't want to put words in other people's mouths. All I can do is assume things. But I'm assuming from the time we walked in here in the first hearing, they've gotten the information of get people on that road, show usage, sell everything you can. Everything. The more people that own in there, the more things that happen, the more unlikely it is for the county to walk back out of it, or a court, including putting utilities in down a road.
Okay,
But
I think we
that's
are
where
ready to
we
make
are.
a decision.
All right, and I appreciate it.
Okay.
Any other
You
questions that
allow
I can
them
answer?
time to talk now.
You're not the attorney representing the family,
But I am the executive of the trust.
but you're not the attorney. This
Does
is
it
for
need-
attorneys.
Does it need to be attorneys?
That's who's got us into this mess. Oh, did I say that?
Well,
Okay.
does not
no,
need to
it
be
does not
Go
need to
ahead,
be
but
attorneys.
make it short, sweet, and to the point.
Let this be a lesson to all of you. This is TJ Batty. Don't be an executor for a trust. If the deceased can't trust their kids to do what they're supposed to do, just say, I'm sorry you failed as a parent. So, February 10th, 2022, ORFA died. In the trust, it said to go ahead and break it out into the smallest lot possible and go ahead and sell it with 3 beneficiaries, Philip, Joelle, and Margene. We went to the attorney, and then we went to UN Engineering Land Surveying. They came to Matt Kazir and Deanna Nyberg. They go ahead and they approve what UN Engineering Land Surveying had done. And then we came to the commissioners of Uintah County, and guess what the commissioners did of Uintah County? They approved the minor subdivision. And then guess what I did? I trusted you. And I made decisions based off of that trust and your word. And then, yes, they did go ahead and they filed a complaint, and by the time it came to my attention, we were in a contract deadline. No, the sale had not occurred, but I was contractually obligated to sell that front lot. My hands were tied. I did come in and I visited with Mr. Kazir, and Mr. Kazir said, I am not a commissioner. I cannot tell you how the commissioners will vote. However, the chances of the commissioners saying, you know, we told you you could, you trusted us, and now we're going to say, oh, you damn fool, why did you trust us, is very, very low. So we thought, okay, this sounds like the least litigation way to go. We proceeded forward. And and Mr. Labrum should know this, that the job of an executive of trust is to distribute assets from the trust as fast as possible and give it to the beneficiaries. That's my job. So, you know, yeah, of course I tried to sell it. That's my job, okay? And I can't imagine, I know that Joelle and Philip have reached out to the commissioners to say we don't believe that that's a road. Now, I'd like to address that. I can't imagine the pain of having your parents say, I really don't trust you to do this, and I'm going to put someone else in your place because I think that he or she is capable of doing what I want. And so I understand that. I have found that there's a lot of truth in what Charles Mackay said. When he said that you have no enemies, you say, alas, my friend, the boast is poor. He who has mingled in the fray of duty the brave endure must have made foe. If you have none, small is the work that you have done. You've hit no traitor on the hip, dashed no cup from perjured lip. You've never turned the wrong to right. You've been a coward in the fight. I have learned that a little bit in this whole experience, which has been a fascinating study of human environment. I do understand there are concerns for safety going up that road. However, it is amazing, as Mr. Labrum just proposed, that money seems to solve that concern if we have to buy our way out. Monetary win for the applicant. I am not sure what else we can offer. We've done exactly what you've advised us to do. And that's pretty much all I have to add. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Call for a motion?
Me or you? I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion regarding ordinance number 12-04-202301 on vacating a Class B road at 1250 North. This is hard, but I have to separate my feelings from relationships, and I make the motion that we abate this road. I don't see any evidence that we really, in good faith, done anything to improve it, to make it a B road. We've been monkeying with this for 2 years. If we wanted a B road, we could have done it. And that's my motion, is to abate it.
So you're saying to vacate the road?
Vacate it, yep.
Okay, any further discussion?
Probably now's a good time. This has been very hard, and like Commissioner Lefevre has said, because personal feelings and emotions get tied up in this. I'm trying not to let that happen. The hard part is there's been things that have been done, I would say in the past, that we have had a hard time sorting out and trying to understand, but there have been things done recently, not by us, but previous to us, that move forward with the premonition that this is a county road, and that is why they subdivided and approved a subdivision on that county road. And then with this new information brought to light, that I was trying to get answers today on those issues that were brought to light by this other party. And I have, as our recorder can attest, and our community development can attest, and even our surveyor, we have been calling them today trying to get some answers. And as of right now, we do not have clear answers. And so I cannot move forward with vacating because we have made other things in the past, in the recent past, to say that it is a county road.
Okay, anything further? Call for a vote then. The motion is to vacate it.
Aye.
Nay.
Always comes back to the old fat guy.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna say I vacate it. Any further comments, questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Do you have any board appointments? Either one of you? Any board appointments?
no, I'm happy for what just happened. I think Christie, in good faith, that she's already got an easement across her property, and if she's tried to work, and I have full confidence that she can, if she wants to, can allow an easement up through there that fits her needs, and it might restrict some growth on those properties, but everyone can have access. And it's, the ball's in her court. I have no board appointments.
You have none?
No, not that I know of.
I may have one next week. All right, time for public comment. Public comment is a time for public comment, not public debate. The county will listen to the comments made and take them into consideration. Depending on the question, if we have the knowledge, we may answer it or we may not, okay? Comments made might not be something the county has the power to act on. This is a recorded public hearing. If someone would like to make a comment, they need to come and wait to either one of these microphones, state their name and for the record, and then continue on. Please be respectful, no interrupting. Please wait your turn. A total of 15 minutes will be allocated for the public comment. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to make their comments. Do we have any public comment today? Going once? No public comment.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
We are adjourned.
Oh, I was going to add, sorry. We're technically adjourned, but I wanted to just bring up the 2 wrestling teams from the high school. Last week, the boys wrestling team placed first